The Rangashankara Theatre in Bengaluru. For years, there have been plays here every single day, except Mondays. Every single day there were plays. But the COVID-19 pandemic stopped all that, and there has not been a performance since the earlier part of March. That is going to change now. There's a return to theatre program planned from Friday the 8th, a return to theatre with plays starting once again every day except Monday. Joining us, the mother of the theatre, Arundhati Nag. Now, it has been years, but seeing this place empty for so many months, that must have been very, very tough on you.
Very difficult, heartbreaking, but we are such optimists. So we did not build this in air. It is rooted in the ground, and we believe that there have been many pandemics before in the history of mankind, and what has survived is still theatre, is still the arts, is still the performing arts. So with that conviction, we kept our theatre clean throughout the pandemic. Our staff came twice a week. We took police permissions. And we were in preparedness that whenever this demon leaves us, we are ready to come back and perform.
Ready to go.
Yes.
And how will you keep patrons safe? What preparation is there at the theatre?
Well, we will be sanitizing the whole auditorium after every show.
Okay.
And as you can see, we have no seats, individual seats in our auditorium. People can sit close to one another, but we will be marking the distances, and we will not be selling the first row.
Okay, so the first row will be empty, so they're not too close to the actors, and the actors are not too close to them. Because I think singing and loudspeaking is... Yes, okay. So
absolutely.
the first row will be empty.
Yeah, and so we have a capacity of 300 seats, but we will be selling only 140. And we have temperature checked at the entrance, and we take down people's phone numbers and email IDs, and we give them sanitizers, and we enforce wearing the mask. If they're not wearing the mask, they will not be allowed. We will sell masks for those who have forgotten. And, that's the kind of preparedness we are entering into this whole reopening with. And after that, we say to people, you have to be responsible. Like the central government said, you have to be responsible and look after yourselves. So we are telling people, you have to look after yourself too. We are telling the actors, we can do this much for you. Sanitize your green rooms, wipe the railings, wipe the steps with sanitizer every day after every show. But beyond that, you have to be careful. Make sure you don't take your mouth and put a hand and put it into your mouth or your eyes. Wash your hands as often as possible. Yeah.
These are the physical preparations. Do you feel now that the audience is ready to come back? What made you feel this was the right time to get going?
Well, we've been waiting for so long. We've been in a sense of preparedness. But I think the powers that be know that, okay, now life has to come back to normal. Something has to hit the normal track. And if this is the new normal, then so be it. Then how does a performing art live? So the moment we sensed that, yes, now we are prepared, and the artist community has had enough, audiences probably also are now kind of used to the new normal, and this is a good time to open. Yeah. There are some other theatres that opened before us, like Prithvi Theatre Bombay opened before us, but we are ready now.
This is the right time.
This was for us, yes, absolutely.
There are, of course, rules. 50% is the maximum number of people who can come, and you're having a little bit less than 50%, yes? Will that work?
I don't think so. Because it's so difficult when you're selling a ticket at 150 rupees. In Rangashankara, the ceiling is 500, and that is only for very, very expensive or outstation plays. Our normal Kannada play charges 150 rupees, max 200. And if you take away 50% of the house, how much can a team make? They won't even meet their expenses of transporting their sets and giving every actor a cup of coffee. So I think really as a nation we need to wake up to some kind of association, federation of performing arts, making a representation to the government. The government needs to address, I know they have a lot of things to address, but they do need to address the creative communities of the country, because if it's gone, it's never coming back.
It's not deemed an essential service, but in many ways I think it has been.
Of course it has. I mean, if we imagine a life without art, imagine no design, no color, everything just gray and straight lines. My God, it wouldn't be a world worth living in. So we look at ourselves as the repositories, as the recipients of a very rich tradition and culture, and we have to, it is our duty to pass it on. The beauty of the spoken word, the value of the written word becoming a spoken word. I think this is the magic of theatre, and I believe this is our responsibility, the responsibility of theatre people, because theatre is this amalgamation of all the arts. And who else but India has the largest repertoire of so many forms, so many languages? So all the more responsibility to hold it in place.
You're saying that it may not be financially viable or definitely not profitable, but even viable, but you still felt you had to take that first step and get going again?
Well, Rangashankara is a not-for-profit trust that runs this place. We've run it for 16 years. Our rentals have been 2,500 rupees per day. We haven't raised it in 16
In all
years.
these years it hasn't been
But
raised.
that is why when we opened our theatre, we had hardly 100 theatre groups. Today we have 300 theatre groups in Bangalore, and they can all afford this world-class space and perform in it. That is the service that this space is really doing to society. So making money is not the bottom line. We need enough to keep it going, to help people perform, to help them produce new work, and to just keep that spirit of the human being alive. It is not only about money.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Well, keeping the spirit alive, Rangashankara, the plays are starting and it won't be half empty, it'll be half full.
Yeah.
And theatres starting up once again here in Rangashankara in Bengaluru. With DM Kumar, Maya Sharma for NDTV.